That was loud enough. Thank you. That'll do.
Did you see your likeness over there? Could you stand up one more time?
Yeah, he's seen you.
Oh, it's me. Oh my God, that's incredible.
Maybe a little bit, eh?
You've seen him around. He follows you.
Yeah.
So Dennis, welcome to Toronto. Have you been here many times before?
No, this is the first time I've ever been to Canada. And I've wanted to come to Canada for years. And then I saw the con and I went, perfect, fantastic combination. So my wife and I are just delighted to be here. And we got in last night. And once the con's finished, we're going to stay a couple of days, obviously, and drive out to guess where? The Falls, obviously, naturally. And get married. Oh no, we got married already, we've done that. Anyway, we're looking forward to that and to discovering the city a bit more, and yeah, so delighted to be here. Just brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
That's so kind of you, my goodness. You're gonna fit in here because we are known for our sort of superficial politeness in Canada,
Sure.
so.
That's funny, I hadn't noticed that. Anyway, whatever.
Oh.
But anyway, no, I had, of course I had. And of course the whole Scots, Irish thing is strong here, isn't it? So I feel right at home.
Very much so. Normally I start these up by apologizing for our weather, but actually it's not so cold right now, and you're from Glasgow.
Well, I was born in Glasgow. Yes, I was born in Glasgow, and but we left when I was 3 years old. I couldn't get a decent cappuccino anywhere, so I was brought up in a little Scottish town called Crieff in Perthshire. Very beautiful. And a very, very beautiful part of Scotland. My sister and I got very lucky because when I was born in Glasgow, we were living in what was called the tenements at that time, and they were very, very tough, very, very rough, difficult.
Well, I think Glasgow still has a reputation of being kind of it has a nice street cred to it.
I would say now, actually, it was like that for many, many years, but over the last, I don't know, maybe more than 10 years, it's now got quite a different atmosphere. It's quite laid back, it's quite cool, it's quite young as a city.
Oh, yeah.
And there are parts of it, Edinburgh, of course, as you know, is very, very beautiful, extraordinary. But there are wonderful parts of Glasgow too, so, you know.
Oh yeah, I meant as a compliment, it has sort of a nice roughness to it.
Yeah, sure,
And we'd be remiss if I didn't say, Glasgow has shot into the news recently for a very famous Willy Wonka experience. Have you heard anything about this?
No, this is news to me. Wonka
Really?
in Glasgow? Really?
I'll give you the 2-second. I'm hearing. It sounds like you are aware of this.
Yeah, I've missed this.
Basically, these folks who I'm sure no relation to you or your family decided to put on this Willy Wonka experience to celebrate the movie, and they may have been a little ambitious and their budget not so ambitious.
Yeah.
So folks showed up and it was just like pipes and drapes, and one very special actress who has shot to international fame for having the most depressed looking face. You need to Google this after.
Okay.
Actually, someone was dressed as that Oompa Loompa here. I took a picture, you have to find them. Okay, so that's your homework.
All right, okay.
Yeah, afterwards.
Thank you. I need a purpose in life. That's fine. Thank you.
So you've been in Toronto you got here today or yesterday?
Hours. We've been here for hours.
Oh my
No, we got
goodness.
in last night from London. Yeah, sure.
And what was your impressions of Canadians before your arrival?
Before my arrival, well, they're actually, I have to say that my impressions were borne out because I expected Canadians to be welcoming, relaxed, and open. And that I'm not shooting you a line. That's exactly what I found. I'm delighted.
Clap for yourselves.
Yeah, come on, applaud yourselves.
Any
Come on.
Canadians here? We love that.
Any Canadians here? No, anyway.
Thank you so much. So I suppose we should talk about, something to do with Star Wars.
We don't need to
at some
talk about
point.
that. Anyway, so, yeah.
So you have played Wedge in the 3 Star Wars movies, 77, 80, 83. You voiced him in a video game, Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2,
right.
in 2001. You played him again in 2019 in The Rise of Skywalker. You voiced him again in 2020 Star Wars Squadrons.
Okay.
And then I wonder if you remember all these.
Yeah.
There's so many. And then the last one is Star Wars Visions in 2023.
Okay.
So I have 2 questions for you.
Yes, oh God.
My first one is, what was it like to return to a live-action character after 36 years?
Yeah.
And what is it like to be playing this guy for almost 5 decades?
It's absolutely extraordinary. how to answer that? Well, you know, we shot the first movie in 1976 in London, and it was a very, very hot summer in the UK. There was a drought. England was brown. It was so hot. And it was the first time I ever saw people wearing shorts in England, in London, because nobody wore shorts to go out, please. So I suddenly...
They don't match with your
They
monocle?
They don't match with the monocle and the three-piece suit. So, so that was kind of extraordinary. And then doing the movie was great fun. I mean, I knew a lot of the guys were all young actors and kicking off and stuff, so I knew quite a few of the guys anyway. And we had a lovely time. We sort of messed around outside the soundstage before each one of us went up to the cockpit to do the, you know, and you know, you would go in to the soundstage to do your stuff for the battle sequences and climb a ladder onto a platform. This is how basic it was. There were guys at each corner of the platform wobbling it around. So you did that. And nobody had heard the expression green screen, didn't even hear the term. The first time I ever heard the term computerized camera. What's that? Okay, so anyway, it wasn't until we eventually sat down to watch a screening. We didn't really even know what we were in. Sure. I don't think we saw a full script, honestly. And so when we sat down and watched it for the first time in a massive cinema in Leicester Square in London, it was gobsmacking. It was incredible. The first shot, as you know, when the ship comes across the top of the camera, and the sound, it was just extraordinary. And so, you know, to go back to your question, here we are, 40 years later, more than that, sitting, talking. It's just extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary.
It's remarkable.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's, you know, funny for folks here. It's hard to imagine a time when Star Wars was a new thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But, you know, sci-fi was popular. Sci-fi is extremely popular now. But at the time, did you think, like, what have I done? Or maybe this will be a fun gig and it'll just blow
exactly,
away?
exactly that. It was it was ad hoc. It was just they want you to do this movie, and I met George, and la la la, and then, okay, well, and I'd done that particular summer, I did 2 movies in France, which were fantastic. And then I came back, and they said, they want you to do this science. Okay, all right, then go on. So next, here we go, you know. And then it was woof, you know.
Because you're a classically trained actor, and so did you think you were kind of slumming it, like a bit of a lowbrow? I'll do some sci-fi.
Oh no, not at all, not at all. I mean, I've always, I never think of myself as a classic actor in that sense. I went to drama school and did all that, you know, but I love to do lots of different things, you know, so I've done a lot of theatre. I direct in the theatre too. I sing and dance. I did 25 years of dance classes, and I've sung all my life, so musicals are a huge part of my career as well. So, and a pity there's not a number in, you know, Star Wars. But anyway.
Well, we've got a big stage here, Dennis.
Well, come on, let's do something. But it is just quite extraordinary how these movies have, because there was science fiction was a genre before Star Wars, but no one had. It's not just that they broke ground technically, which they did enormously, but the script. George is some kind of genius, isn't he? The narrative drive of the scripts, particularly through the first 3 movies, was amazing. It was like a sort of Greek tragedy, I always think. And an extraordinary bit of work from George, just amazing, amazing.
And you had a lot of newcomers in the film, you know, folks who, Harrison Ford, folks who were going to have sparkling careers. Yeah. But you also had a lot of established actors like Alec Guinness.
That's right, exactly, that's right.
It's quite an institution.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get to meet Mr. Guinness, in fact, on it, but Harrison was a great character. He was very, very funny, Harrison. He's a very dry, droll kind of sense. I remember there was you'll know, there was a scene where I danced with the Ewoks. You remember that? And hey, guess what? I got my helmet off and everything. And just before the take, Harrison came over to me and said, "This is your big moment, Dennis."
All the training, the music, theater,
Yeah,
the
all of
classic.
that came into play.
That's right.
Dancing with those teddy bears. It's incredible.
Love the Ewoks. Yeah. I think of all the folks who should have gotten their own spin-off series. Well, the Ewoks did have some movies in the 80s of their own, but it's been a while. I think they're ripe for a comeback.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to reprise Edge in one of the Ewok movies? If we can get it greenlit?
Oh, sure, of course.
Okay,
Yeah,
this is a good
So let
sign.
them know. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So when did you know that suddenly this weird sci-fi movie you did with the shaking spaceship was becoming something big?
I think really at the point where, I think at the point where that first one, as I say, we saw the screening and then it was released and it just went like that. And then I guess the other two movies in that sequence, again came up and I was able to do them and I was happy to do them. They fitted in with other stuff I was doing. So it was, and they were just, apart from all that, they were just great fun to do, you know. Mark Hamill and I became very good friends through shooting those movies. He spent a lot of time in my house in London at that time. And then his wife Mary Lou and my partner at that time were both pregnant at the same time.
Oh, wow.
And that was rather lovely. So and that's a friendship that's maintained itself, you know, which is lovely.
Well, you've talked about coming back to do the other movies. I read that you thought after the first film your character had died. And so when they called you to do the second film, you were quite surprised. Is this true?
I think, yeah, I did. Yes, I think. Now, this is so because it's so long ago. Yes, I did have the impression that he'd snuffed it, as we say in the UK. And then they called me back and went, oh no, he's alive. Oh my God, yeah, okay, let's go. Yeah.
Did you play him as a ghost for the first few scenes?
Yeah, hence the weird performance.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow, that is so wild. So another fantastic connection you have to the Star Wars universe is your nephew. Maybe do folks know who his slightly famous nephew is?
Whatever his name is. Yes, of course, that's right.
Yes, another Scot named Ewan McGregor.
Ewan McGregor.
If you weren't
yes,
aware.
he's a phenomenal actor, just extraordinary.
Wonderful. So when he got that role after you, did you have any advice for him about joining the Star Wars universe?
Well, it's very funny this, because you may have heard it, because he used to like to tell the story that I said, don't do this, don't do it, don't do this.
It's not true?
No, it's not true. It's not true. But at the time, I said, because he was quite young, you know, I said, just be careful of this, because there's a thing in the profession called typecasting, which means that you become associated with one role. That's what he does, and so that's all you are then offered. But luckily, he paid no attention to me whatsoever. I mean, he's such a versatile, an amazing actor. He's just wonderful.
It must be in the genes.
Yeah,
but I'm
yeah.
sure you weren't him too. I mean, like, here you are, almost 50 years later, still talking about the same character.
Yeah.
So he had the warning. It's out of your hands.
Yes. There's nothing I could do about it. He did it. He's fine.
That's right.
And he's survived. He's brilliant. It's fantastic.
And it's, I think he's doing okay.
Yeah.
It's odd too, because in the first Star Wars movie, Chapter 4, Obi-Wan Kenobi is canonically 57 years old. And your character is a couple decades younger.
Yes.
So did that make, because that's Ewan McGregor's character,
Yes.
did that make the power dynamic weird? Do you call him uncle sometimes now?
If he's not careful. Oh, but this is perhaps interesting too, because it's a little, not many people know this. The guy who plays the Emperor, right? Ian McDermott, okay, he's a Scottish actor too.
What's with all the Scots taking over
What's
Star
with
Wars?
this Scots thing? Anyway, I met Ian McDermott. I was trying to get into drama school. I know I came from this little town. I had no idea what I was doing. I only knew I wanted to do this thing. And I tried to get into, I didn't get in the first time around. And then I found in a town called Dundee in Scotland, a little amateur dramatic company with a beautiful little theatre. And I joined that. And the leading actor of that company was Ian McDermott.
Wow.
So I met Ian McDermott when I was 17 years old. And I was in Dundee for about 8 months, something like that. And we did half a dozen productions together, and all that stuff. And then we both auditioned for drama school in Glasgow on the same day.
No way.
Yeah. So we went in for the audition together, and then we came out in the street, stood in the street in the central Glasgow, had a chat, and I shook his hand, and I watched him walk away. And I thought, I'll never see that guy again. We both got in, we trained together, we shared flats together, and I've known him ever since I was 17 years old.
That is so wild, because
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
that small of a community. Yeah, you can clap for that if
Yeah,
you
you
want.
can applaud. No, he's an extraordinary actor, an incredible stage actor. He's just something else, yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, something about that Star Wars movie too is that you were the second Wedge, kind of. There was someone known as Fake Wedge.
Yes.
You may be aware of,
Yes.
who came on as, it's a fickle business. Fake
that's
Wedge
right, that's
was
right.
in part of the film and then left,
That's right,
and then you came
exactly,
in.
that's right.
You had auditioned and you didn't get
Precisely,
the
yes, well spotted. Yes, I did audition. I met George with dozens and dozens of other actors, and I didn't get the part. And then, as I said, I went to France and did a great summer that summer, and then I came back, and suddenly they said, "Oh, they want you to do it." I went, "Okay." So what I didn't realize was that they cast someone else as Wedge, and then I had no idea why. I don't know. He didn't work out, and I bore a slight resemblance to him. I think that's how random this business is, and I, without realizing it, I took over. And you'll notice, I think, that's why there's a guy who revoiced both roles.
For continuity.
Yes, for that first movie, just that first movie.
I wondered if it's because sometimes North Americans have trouble understanding Scottish accents.
Sorry, what did you say then?
Yeah, exactly. Little Scot slam there. That's crazy.
Yeah, crazy, yeah,
Okay, you
crazy.
almost kind of missed the whole
Well,
boat.
precisely, yes, that's how random and crazy it was, yeah.
Well, this is interesting because you were later in a BBC One series called New Tricks.
That's right, yeah.
Big New Tricks fans?
Glad you liked it.
What a great crowd this is. You know every reference.
Yeah.
So you replaced someone in that too. So
Oh well, that was just a different thing. He'd been in it for a while and just wanted to stop for various reasons.
Okay.
So they got me in to join the cast. Yeah, yeah.
So it's not a thing where you're kind of waiting by the craft services
No,
table, putting
absolutely
things in
not.
people's coffee,
Again,
because
it was
twice is a lot.
Again, it was completely random.
Okay.
And when it came up, I knew there was basically four principal characters, and I knew all of those actors anyway, so it was an easy fit, So, and it was great to do, hard work, a lot of it, but really interesting and a wonderful job, fantastic, loved it.
That's so fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so because you've been getting to revisit this character so many times, at various ages, because it kind of goes back in time sometimes, has your idea of who this person is changed? I know there's a lot of lore, there's books and things about this character.
Yes, sure.
How much have you kind of shaped the character as you go? How much time do you spend thinking about it?
Yes, it's interesting. It was only this afternoon, a woman said something very interesting to me. She said, I noticed you became, as you went on in the movies, more, you seem more serious, more that you're more not in command, but you seem more, what's the word, properly word? You have more authority, and I thought that was really interesting because I think almost subconsciously I was looking at that progression where somebody who comes in a sense up the ranks quite literally and gets to a point where they are quite with authority, and so I think without really realizing it did affect my performance. Yeah, it was quite quite instinctive. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. It's so rare because so often you play this part, and then your life goes on.
Well, that's right, of course.
Whatever, and then here you are still talking about that. Have you ever felt chained to it? And was there ever a point of frustration when you wish you could kind of shrug it off? Or
No. I mean, I suppose people associate me with that, and for myself, I've done a massive range of different kinds of work, and so it's part of the general pattern of my career, because I you know, I've done a lot of theatre, and a lot of musical theatre. I sing and dance too, and I direct in the theatre, and I've directed on film, and I've taught screen acting and written, and a book published on that too. So there's a lot gone on in my career and still does. So I guess there was a point where I'm going, yes, that's great, but I have done all of this as well, you know. But I'm cool with it. It's extraordinary. Again, it goes back to your point. Here we are, 40 odd years down the line, still talking about it. It's amazing, absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and I mean, you can see by folks dressing up like the character, the way that incredible influences it's had on so many people.
Oh, people have talked to me today to hear, and it's very touching, the effect it's had on them, on their lives. And I find that quite, really quite moving sometimes, yeah.
Well, I know it's your first time at Toronto ComiCon, but do you get to many of the cons? Any memorable ones?
Well, I think it was. Do you know who Peter Capaldi is? He played Doctor. Another Scots actor. But anyway, I didn't do cons for quite a long time.
Okay.
And it was because Peter Capaldi was in a movie called Local Hero that I did, and it was his first job, I think, as a young actor. And so we've been friends ever since. And there was a point in which he said to me, "Den, why are you not doing cons? Everybody does cons. Will you just do them and stop messing about?" So I did, and one of the very first ones I went to was a celebration in Orlando. Oh my God!
Are you clapping for Orlando or the Orlando Con?
Yeah.
You were there? Okay, great.
Well, you remember, it was huge. It was the 40th anniversary, I think, and excuse me, and it was the second largest building in the United States after the Pentagon. I think there might have been 80,000 people there, can you remember? And it was gobsmacking. And at a certain point in the day, well, you remember this, there was these massive black drapes across one corner. And halfway through the day, they drew back, and it was a 40-piece orchestra conducted by John Williams, who played the music. It was absolutely incredible, absolutely extraordinary.
Were they behind that curtain the whole day?
I hope so. No, I don't think so.
Half of them were unconscious. It was a medical disaster.
It was absolutely extraordinary.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. Okay, so moments like that have shown you, like, you don't miss cons now.
No, I don't. If I'm free, like, I mean, you know, for instance, last year I went to Tacoma, Seattle, and
no claps for Tacoma. You clap for
Tacoma,
everything.
100 miles. Well, you know what it is. But again, I know this is a little personal thing. I'm a huge jazz fan. Okay, and my favorite jazz station is called Jazz 24, and it comes out of Tacoma. And I'm selling it now. You can download the app. It's 24 hours a day, commercial-free jazz.
Use promo code Denis Lawson to get 10%
Yeah, that's
off.
right, 10%. No, and through a couple of musician friends of mine, I made contact with the DJs there, and I went to the station, and it was just so wonderful, just fantastic. So that was fabulous. And then that was last year, and then I flew down to. Well, I went from there to San Francisco. I have a cousin of mine who lives there, so I spent some time with her. Then I went to Burbank, and I have a son who lives just outside LA, so I saw him, and I you know, it was it's taking me to some wonderful places. I had a weekend in Amsterdam, for God's sake. What's not to love about that, you know? So it's fantastic.
There's nothing, and you've just been here a few hours, so wait until you've experienced all that Canada has to offer.
Well, yeah, I can't wait.
It's a very big country.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, you'll have to come back.
Yeah. Well, I'm planning on doing. Is it? No, hang on. It's gone. No, Ottawa. I don't know.
Montreal.
No.
Vancouver.
No.
Calgary.
Calgary. I'm planning on doing Calgary. I think
Amazing.
later in the year.
Great place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which month?
You got me. May, I think. I'm not sure.
That's
I'm really not
acceptable,
sure.
yeah.
I'm really not sure.
We avoid the prairies in the winter. It gets a little bit cold.
You see, I'm learning already. I'm learning. Avoid the prairies in the winter. Remember that. Okay.
100%.
Yeah.
So, one publication called Wedge Antilles, the 24th greatest Star Wars character of all time, claiming that This character may be the most important ancillary character in the entire Star Wars universe. This is true. I didn't make that up. Take the praise. So, with that in mind, as I said, there's so many spin-off shows. Every character now is getting a spin-off. If Wedge were to get a spin-off show, which actors would you demand would be part of it?
Oh my God. Well, my nephew, for a start.
Oh, great. Yeah, that guy.
I'd make him do it. Ian McDermott. Yes.
Make you an audition, though.
Yeah,
don't just give him
damn
the
right.
part.
And then I turn him down and then make an audition again. And then, let's get Peter Capaldi in there as well. What the hell? We need Doctor Who in there. And, yeah.
What about that guy? He's got the costume.
Yeah, okay, you as well. All right.
No, why not?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So listen, now I've talked enough. I know some folks here are going to have questions for you.
Have some water?
Yeah, have a sip. Well, I have a little spiel. So we're going to move on to a little thing called a Q&A. Here's the trick with the Q&A, and everyone thinks they know this, but they get excited. Q&A stands for question and answer. The important part for you is the question. So whatever thing you say has to end in a question mark. I say this because sometimes folks get up and they get really excited and they say this beautiful statement and it ends in a period. And poor Dennis is confused but supportive. I'm confused, no one knows what to do, and we all kind of toggle off and it got weird. So to keep that from happening, make sure the thing you say is concise, it's, focused, and ends in a question mark so our good friend Dennis knows what to say back. Sound good? Any questions? No? Fantastic. That's good. So the way that we're going to do this is, I think someone from, we've already got a microphone and someone waiting. So if you have a question, you can get in line here. We'll get into as many questions as we can. We do have a hard stop when the event ends, so we'll do our absolute best.
Yes.
Okay, and is your microphone on, my friend at the microphone?
Hi.
Perfect.
Hi, we can hear you. Hello.
Hi. What was your favorite Wedge scene, like in the movies?
My favorite Wedge what?
Which scene from the movies?
Question mark.
Question mark. Okay. All right.
Nailed it.
My favorite Wedge scene. Oh God, that's hard. But no. Another funny. Okay, there was a big scene where we're all being addressed by some admiral who basically looked a bit like a lobster. Do you remember that? And we're all being and it was a big set piece, and he had this speech to us. We're all standing there and la 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 la, and they shouted cut, and Mark Hamill marched onto the set and said, "Don't you realize you've just been addressed by a prawn salad?" I love that scene for that particular reason.
Amazing.
That's the scene with my favorite Star Wars character in it. So.
Okay.
Who's your favorite Star Wars character?
Mon Mothma.
Oh, right, okay.
Great
Well,
character.
thanks a lot.
Well, I love you
Nice
too.
one.
I am
No, your time's done. Thank you so much. Okay, what's your question?
Hi, this is actually a non-Star Wars question. So, about a decade ago, I remember you in a sci-fi indie film called The Machine, where you played the villain.
Oh yeah, The Machine.
So what was it like playing a villain after playing Wedge in Star Wars?
Yeah, always. I loved that. Loved doing that. It was because he was horrible man, wasn't he? Yeah, I loved that. It's very. That particular movie, The Machine, was one brilliant director and producer. I really liked them a lot. We shot it in Wales, in fact, in the UK, and it's playing villains in a way. Playing villains is easier than playing good guys, because there's kind of more direct kind of bleh, and good guys are a bit more, good, so I really loved doing that. It was great. Nice. I like that question. Thank you. Brilliant.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Hi, thanks for coming to Toronto.
All right.
My question is, what was your favorite memory about working with Carrie Fisher?
Nice question.
Carrie Fisher, she was just gorgeous. She was very nice. I do remember thinking, she had a big scene, I remember, where she had to address all the pilots. We're all standing around in a crowd, and she had to kind of brief us, I think. And I remember at the time feeling she was very nervous about that, you know, because it's there's something funny about being on camera and then talking to people in a sort of not theatrical way, but you're addressing a crowd, which doesn't, it's quite tricky to do on camera. And of course she was very young. What was she, 20?
19.
Yeah, she was really
19,
young,
right?
wasn't she?
Did you say 19?
She was 19, wasn't she?
Yeah, I think when she did the first one, yes.
Yeah.
And I do remember worrying about her a bit because she seemed quite nervous, and you know, but she was just a wonderful personality, actually, wonderful. Yeah, I liked her
Thank
very
you.
much. Thank you.
Hi.
Hello.
In 2006, I saw you in the West End production of La Cage aux Folles. You were fantastic. Is there a stage role that you would love to still play right now?
Oh my God, a stage role I still love to play. Well, I love doing La Cage aux Folles. It was fabulous to do. It's kind of right up my street, really, that kind of stuff. Oh, brother. Stage role I still like to do. Biff, chief. Oh, God, you've got me. I tend not to have. It's funny, I tend not to have, I've never had parts, I want to play that someday. I've just reacted to what's come at me more. And I want to tell you something and I don't know what it is. No. Sorry.
That's a great question, but what a great attitude.
Yeah,
'cause
but
then
thank you for the question.
You're never disappointed then. It's
Yeah,
just
that's
what
right.
You get is
I
what
just
you get.
respond to what's out there.
I love
you know?
that.
Yeah.
Hi, so once again, like others said, thank you for coming to Canada. Love to have you here.
Delighted.
And you did touch upon it on stage, but with yourself starting it off with the original trilogy, with Ewan then following with the prequels, his wife now having a role as Hera Syndulla in Ahsoka, and now I believe even his daughter having a cameo in Kenobi. How does it feel to have kind of started a family lineage in this connection to Star Wars? Because that's now 4 people in your family that have worked their way in.
That's scary. It'll be my sister next. Oh God. No, it's absolutely. Yeah, you're right. It's quite extraordinary and lovely and surreal at the same time. And I think it's wonderful. Ewan's daughters are very talented. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey Dennis, it's me again.
Yeah. Hello again.
Hi. Anyway, so the quick question is, actually lately they're working on, Patty Jenkins started the Rogue Squadron script again. So, and she's like the daughter of a fighter pilot that served in Vietnam. So this could be a very fighter pilot-y Rogue Squadron, the movie that could be made. Now, once again, it could be a Top Gun, Star Wars Top Gun, and you could be the Maverick. Well, you already are Maverick of Star Wars, really.
Yeah.
You're the fighter pilot. So you could be tapped on the shoulder again to show it. I don't know if you've heard that, but you could be tapped on the shoulder to do more Wedge. Is that something you'd be interested in?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, totally. I mean, would you mind suggesting that to?
I honestly, I don't think I have to because I think it's going to happen.
Yeah. But you're not playing it. I want to make that quite clear, right?
That's
Of course I would.
One
That'd be
quick
brilliant.
follow-up. That scene on Endor where you're dancing with the Ewoks.
Yeah.
Was that scene totally just improv?
Was it what?
Improv? Was that just improvisation?
Oh, totally improv, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
there wasn't like a dance call.
No, we
You
weren't.
didn't have
It
choreography.
wasn't choreographed, man. No. We just book it. You know what I mean? Was
that at the end of the Return of the? Was that at the end of filming?
This is I like your outfit, but this is your final question. That's number 3.
I'm a pain in the butt. I get it. But that scene, was that at the end of filming? And you were kind of just celebrating the conclusion of filming?
Yes.
Well?
Now you're asking me. And I can't. I think so. I can't remember really.
Okay.
It's too long ago.
Okay. Thanks,
But thanks
Dennis.
for the question. Cheers. and thank you.
Wow, so you're going to be the Maverick of the Star Wars universe.
Of course, naturally. Yeah.
Already is and will be forever. Okay, next up.
Hi, thanks for coming. My dad was really excited that you were gonna be here.
Where's your dad?
Pardon?
Well, you said your dad was excited. Where's your dad?
Oh, he's not here. I'm with my friend.
Not that excited, I guess.
So excited he missed it.
So my question, you mentioned meeting Harrison Ford and working with him. So who do you think would win in a battle, Han Solo or Indiana Jones?
Who would win in a battle, Han Solo or Indiana Jones? Both Harrison Ford.
Oh, for heaven's sake. Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
Why?
I agree.
Yeah.
That's a great question. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. That's very clever. Hello.
Hello. My question is about the novelizations that they did. Rogue Squadron by Alan Allison, and I'm not sure what the Roth Squadron. Is your opinion on Wedge being featured as the main character in those novels? And there was also a comic series called X-Wing.
So they're talking about the novelizations and the comic series about your character. Have you read any of those? They're asking for your opinion about that character.
No, I have to confess, I have not read them. No,
there's a lot of stuff to keep up on.
Oh, yeah, it's just too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Thank you. Anyway.
Good question, though. Thank you so much.
Okay, first of all, sorry, but my mom said that it was very important that I give Wedge her love.
I'm thrilled, thank you.
Yeah.
Where is your mother, for God's sake?
Yeah, I know, what is with all these people?
She had to go out and make money. I'm a student.
Yeah,
so.
Classic your mom.
If she loved me, she'd be here.
I know,
That's all I can
I'll
say.
scold her. I wanted to ask, what's your favorite non-Star Wars related, like, film or TV show that you've done?
My
favorite non-Star Wars role.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay. I think I'd go for the movie Local Hero, which thank you, which was look, when you do something, you've no idea, like with this, what the impact's going to be. You just do the best job you can. But there was something about that particular experience which was very, very special. Again, because of the actors involved, and also the director, writer, Bill Forsyth, and the producer, David Putnam, and the locations in Scotland were just ravishing, amazing. So that stands out as an experience that I absolutely loved. And so again, with that movie, as with this, it's had a very long life, which is wonderful, 40 years now, and people still refer to it. So yeah,
I haven't seen it, but I'll have to make sure to.
There you go. That's your homework. Yeah, you need to watch that now. Everyone
yes,
here.
how dare you not have seen that? I'm going to tell your mother. Okay.
Next up.
So, with you being a singer and dancer in musicals, have you thought about how Wedge would sing? I know you've danced as him. Have you thought about how he would sing?
Nice question.
Well, I think a Star Wars musical, hello, would be a pretty damn good idea. I think maybe there's a lot of big musicals now done in New York and London on stage that come from movies. So, so I think that would be a great idea. And by the way, it's my idea, not yours, pal. So don't get smart. You know. No, but I think to do a Star Wars musical is rather extraordinary. Yeah.
Dennis, I like this because you seem very benevolent, but then every now and then sort of the curtain pulls back and you get really tough.
Yeah, the Glasgow comes out of me. Sorry, I can't help myself.
Yeah. Do not come for his roles or his ideas. And that's clear. Thank you so much. Great question.
That was great.
So,
Oh, yeah.
So
I did hear this breathing. Do you see what's happening over here? Are they with you?
No. I'm slightly nervous. Okay. Is that Ian McDermott? No, never mind. Okay, carry on.
So I've been with groups of friends who shout Wedge out whenever they're watching Star Wars and you appear on screen. What's the most unusual place that someone has shouted Wedge at you? Or has it ever happened?
That's none of your business, young woman.
Excellent answer. That's a mic
I'm
drop
not discussing
answer.
that sort of thing with you.
Nailed it. Thank you. Great question.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
You'll need to, a little closer.
Hi, I'm a big fan of Star Wars, and I was wondering what your favorite film was of Star Wars to film.
Your favorite Star Wars film?
Oh, my favorite Star Wars film. Well, I would say, because of I think the first one we made. Because, as I said earlier, we had no idea what it was, and then we saw it and went, "Oh my God!" So, the first one, just from my personal experience,
All right, thank you.
Great question. We may have enough time for these if everyone goes lightning fast.
Yeah.
Let's give it a go.
Hello,
So, Mom's a fan of you, and she forced me to ask you the question because she's nervous or something. What got you started into acting?
What got me into acting?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all right. A simple answer to that question is American vaudeville. When I was a child, I'm talking about 5, 6, 7 years old in a little country town I was in. We went to the movies every Saturday afternoon. And I wanted to be Danny Kaye, Jerry Lewis, Donald O'Connor, Gene Kelly, obviously. Those guys, I wanted to be them, and it never went away. And I was so cut off from this world. It wasn't until I was 14 years old that a school friend of mine said the words drama school. And I said, what's that? Never heard of it. So he said, well, you go there and you study acting. Oh, that's what I'll do. I'll do that. That's what I'll do. And that was it. So it came from American vaudeville. Yeah, yeah.
That's wild. Great question. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that.
Hi, a quick question for you. I've done some stage work as an actor and also as a director. You've acted and directed. Which do you find more rewarding? Being in front of the camera or being behind even something as stage play?
Well, again, I think I just take you back to my point that I like to do have lots of different kinds of experiences. And so directing in the theatre was terrific. The first time I ever directed in the theatre, I directed my nephew Ewan in a play called Little Malcolm and His Struggle Against the Eunuchs. And that was a great experience to direct him. And then it went on from there, and then I made a couple of movies, films, and in fact, the second one I made, again, was with Ewan, Solid Geometry. So it's more to do with maybe I have a low boredom threshold. I just like to move around a lot within the business. That's what I really like, you know. Thank you.
Great question, thank you. And look, we made it to the end, our last question. Thank you.
So I know you're talking about maybe doing a Star Wars musical and you'd love to do that, but I know you're a classically trained dancer. Do you think we get a little preview of what one of the dances might look like?
I mean, you did bring it up. He's asking if you will dance for us, basically, was the request.
Oh, for God's sake.
Yes!
This is, I'm wearing the wrong shoes, this is the wrong floor for tap, okay? Oh, for God's sake, what am I doing? Okay. Then actually, I have to, when I've done this, tell you a story about Gene Kelly. Okay, hang on. Let me see.
You're a bit close to the end, okay. Hey! Beautiful!
As much as I can manage with this floor, sorry. That was silent tap.
Bet you didn't know you were going to see that. Some free dancing there.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your questions.
Yeah.
This has been an absolute pleasure. Please put your hands together one more time for Denis Lawson, the King of Scotland.
Thanks very much. I love you. Thanks. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.